over here just getting ready. Give me a second. Check it out. It's 41 inches overall from the front of the can all the way to the end of the stock. Kel Tec Sub 2000. It's not always that long. That can is like 12 inches long. This is S&B, and then I think behind that is like a Federal. So it's all 147 grain in a Magpul mag. We'll see how it works. These are gonna be this is like literally gonna be the first shot. We'll see if it goes bang or if it has issues like my other one used to, because it got like shitty plastic feed ramps. So let's see what happens. Not bad. If you ever wondered what shooting one of these like, or shooting one of these is like, even if you don't have a beard, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, just like the standard beard pube. These tube on here, they always suck. It gets hot, it traps your beard, that charging handle reciprocates, but it fed all of them, which is good. Especially since these like Magpul mags, you know, for like an AR, they're the best thing ever. But for Glock style, without the metal feed lips, I don't like them. But this is what came with this gun. After the rebate, the gun was like barely, you know, $300 and something. It's $250 with the rebate, but then you got to pay, you know, tax, shipping, dealer transfer fee. So even though I had one before, hated it, bought another one for two reasons. One, $250, $300 is an amazing price. The other is I felt real bad for having the other one and never shooting it with a can because I didn't have my can was still in jail. So I didn't get to see how it was. So the feeding issue, they solved this with an aftermarket part, which I'm like, okay, the first one, I kind of refused to buy an aftermarket part for a brand new gun just to make it feed. But for this one, I did break down and bought a metal feed ramp from M Carbo. And I also bought I had it in the other one, a little plastic buffer thing to, I'm not going to take this one apart because this is going to be like a full video with no like, hopefully no like cuts or anything. But what happens is this is direct blowback. So a gun that's direct blowback 9mm, everybody knows if you haven't shot one, find a friend and shoot theirs before you buy one, whether it's like an AR style converted to 9mm or anything like this, or like CZ Scorpion or anything that has direct blowback. To counteract the forces and to keep that bolt closed while there's chamber pressure, you have a heavy bolt. So in this one, it's hard to see without taking it apart, and I don't plan on doing it on video. You can watch my other video on that. It has a two-piece bolt. The bolt literally comes, I mean, you can see this is metal. That's the bolt. It goes like, it's huge. It's like way in there, and it weighs a shitload. And so what you get is you get a lot of beating into your shoulder from it. So they're not comfortable to shoot. They pull your beard. The sights are absolute shit. They recently, with like the Gen 3 fixed issue where you can put, you know, because it folds. So to put an optic on there is not happening unless you buy one of the aftermarket swing over things, or you get their Gen 3 that they just said they're going to release, which you got to turn the whole foregrip thing, kind of all of it spins, so then you can spin your optic out of the way. But then it has no factory sights. I'd rather have I don't know. It's not my, like, I think people that buy one of these, they want it to be like their truck gun, aka whatever that means. And this is not. This is, for me, this is just a play with it gun. My truck gun is always going to be an AR-15. Or if I get some other 9mm PCC style thing, that will be it. Well, I say get something else, 9mm PCC wise. I already have a Scorpion, haven't shot it. I'm actually getting rid of it because I want an upgrade. So I had one of these before, sold it, bought the Scorpion. Then I was like, I don't want that because it's still direct blowback. It's going to be, you know, bad on my shoulder. And I researched what I was going to get. I was going to get like the Angsat Arms one that's like really nice, really lightweight, but it's just so much money. And it's like an ugly ass AR-15 style that I don't want. So then I was like, okay, I'll get something like the Strybok. So I got the shortest version, the whatever it is, SPA39S, whatever the hell name they call it. The shortest one, bought because it's like quasi roller delayed. It's not like roller delayed like you would think of like the MP5. It's a very weird other system. So I bought a different roller that would actually work if you suppress it. And then I just kind of gave up on that gun. Haven't shot it. I've had it for like over a year. Haven't shot it. I have this like weird thing about, you know, come out here and shoot like ridiculously fucking big cans. Oh yeah, I wrote it down on a sticky so I'd know. So this is the Bowers, what the fuck is it called? Verse 9. So it's 24.8 ounces, which is 1.55 pounds. Or if you're watching in the UK or some system that doesn't use like us American kind of shit, it's 700 grams. And it's like 12 inches long. Let's see what that is in millimeters. Hold on. It's like over 30 millimeters. Sorry. That's why we should probably learn the metric system. 30 centimeters. 30 millimeters would be like nothing. Anyway, it's huge. It's a huge can. It's heavy. It even weighs more because I got a 3-lug insert in it. So that makes it weigh even more. Probably like an ounce or two more than normal if you direct thread it. But I put a 3-lug on here. So I have all these guns that I buy, and then like, you know, when I decided that I was going to buy a few suppressors, the first one I bought was for like the Mac 11. So it's like a 380 can. It's from like the 80s. And then I bought another 80s can. I bought the Mac 10 air quotes, 9mm can that has the Bowers upgrade. I have tons of videos on it if you want to watch it. I'll try to link some of them in the comments. So that one was originally a weird can, but I bought a used can. Well, of course it's from the 80s, it's going to be used. So I bought it used with the brand new Bowers upgrade. So it has the same internals as like this. So it's really quiet. Then I bought the 22 can that I have, the Bowers, common theme. The Bowers can that I have, that's the USS 22. And then that one's frustrating because it's like, I want to say it's over like 8 ounces, especially if you don't clean it. So it won't allow it to cycle. It won't allow my PSA rock to cycle. So I have a bunch of weird, heavy, high recoil, no red dot, crazy ass guns, all because I'm like a kid from like, you know, I was born in the 80s. So I wanted like 80s style can for like my, you know, my Mac 10, Mac 11, stuff like that, and for the Uzi. So I bought a whole bunch of these, and I still have yet to buy a more modern style can that's not huge, you know, because this is rated for all the way up to 300 blackout subsonic. So this is like amazing. It has a huge volume, so it makes things really quiet, but it's super heavy, it's super long, and it's just kind of ridiculous. You know, as you get older, you want something quiet so it doesn't hurt your ears that much, and lightweight, so if you're fat and out of shape, you can carry it around and have a good time. But I've been doing like the opposite. So I'm gonna buy like the OSS, whatever the fucking new name is, Huxworks, the Rad 9. That way it's a nice, lightweight can. Get some of the gas out of my face, and it's modular, so you can change it down to be small and work on a pistol. But the whole rant was that I buy a bunch of guns, not shit like shitty, but a large quality of guns, and don't shoot them. Like the last month I sold my FN 5.7 pistol that I've had for a long time, like 5 years, and my PS90 that I had for 5 years and I never shot it. So I sold those. I'm selling the Scorpion, I'm selling the Strybog, all to buy like some B&T APC9K Pro thing, just so it's like lightweight, low recoil, can use a good can on it and have a good time. But that gun is like close to $3 grand. And then the can that I want, you know, the Rad 9 is like $700-800. So gotta sell to fund hobbies. But so what I was gonna go back and show you was, and you're not gonna be able to see it. You can somewhat see it in here. Let me see if I can get the camera to show you in here. Between the sun and everything, it might be hard. So in here, let me stand where I can look. In there is the feed ramp, and the feed ramp that helps get the round out of the magazine and into the barrel, which this gun is crazy because you can fold in half so you can see all of this. So maybe you will be able to see it. So that feed ramp in there is plastic. Obviously Kel Tec has all kinds of amazing inventions, crazy things. I mean, this thing is freaking small. Folded up, let me grab the tape measure. Folded up, this thing is, so let's imagine that I don't have that 3-lug on there. It's like 16.5 inches. It's literally like however long the barrel is. And then from there to there, even with the mag in, is like 8 inches. So it's super small. It's pretty light, even with a magazine in it, it's pretty light. But that feed ramp is just like the freaking worst thing ever. Because what happens is, yeah, you have rounds, and you can have a pure plastic magazine, and plastic magazines work pretty decent, you know. But plastic magazines and plastic feed ramps and certain things, plastic don't work good. Like, for instance, the SIG P322. I don't know how many twos I just said. Anyway, the SIG P322 has plastic mags with no metal inserts, and what happens is the friction between that metal of the round and the plastic, it just, even if you lube it, it doesn't slide out very smooth, so it causes failures to feed, failures to take it out of the magazine. So the same thing happens with this plastic feed ramp. Your round hits it, it kind of nosedives into it and doesn't want to work, especially if you're using, you know, a truncated, which that means, so like this is Federal 9mm 147 grain truncated. So what that means is the front end of that round is like flat. I don't know why they do it, but it's frustrating because it makes it where it digs into feed ramps, it digs into all kinds of things. It makes it unreliable on anything other than like a modern SIG or a modern clock or any modern gun that works good. But this doesn't feed good in my Uzi, doesn't feed good in my my Mac 11, my Cobra M11-9 semi-auto. Doesn't feed good in those because it's flat. You know, flat things like to jam up against things and not work good. In addition to it being flat, the different versions of how long the round can be, overall length of the actual projectile, is really crazy. Can you see? Let me get something white. See the end of those rounds, the primer end is right next to each other, but look at how different that is. That's such a huge difference. That shorter round coming up out of the magazine at an angle is going to affect how it flows into the feed ramp smoothly. So just that alone kind of sucks compared to a normal long 9mm that's round. Because these ones, you know, the Federal and that Winchester are about the same length, but one has a, you know, think of it this way. Pause this video and kick the kids out of the room in case they're watching. Which one of these would you want shoved up your ass? The fucking round one or the flat one? I would rather take the round one up the ass than the flat ones, because it's going to fucking hit and it's not going to want to go in. So, dad lesson. So what you do is you buy, you're like, oh man, I can get that metal feed ramp that M Carbo makes. It's going to be super cheap. I'm just going to pop this gun apart because, you know, Kel Tec is known for using just machine screws to hold their clamshells together. And that's easy. You're like, okay, I just got to buy a few sets of Allen keys. I'm going to rip this motherfucker apart. When you look in there and you take this thing apart, if you ever worked on an automatic transmission, that's what it looks like in there. I watched a video from M Carbo, the dudes that would know how to do this, and the dude's amazing. I'm not saying anything about their company, I'm saying stuff about Kel Tec. Kel Tec making something that is not user-friendly for repairing or taking apart. So it's basically, each one of these metal screws goes into an aluminum shank in there, and so they strip out, they break, they do all kinds of weird stuff if you mess with it. If you leave it alone, it works perfect. It just doesn't feed, and then you're fucked, so you can't shoot. So if you want to take it apart, and you buy the little M Carbo, which this thing is, I don't remember. I got the paperwork, but I don't remember what to do with it. I want to say this is like 20 bucks, maybe 40 bucks. At most, it's like 40 bucks. If it ain't, send me your Cash App, and I'll pay the rest of it if you decide to buy one. So it is 40 bucks. So you just install this. I'm like, okay, I'm a mechanic. I've worked on all kinds of shit. I can put this fucking thing in there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to feed. This is bare stainless steel. I'm going to put some anti-corrosive on it so it'll be good. And I'm also going to buy their buffer so you can put this in the recoil system so you're not getting beat up all the time by the non-buffer. There's no buffer. This bolt basically just compresses the spring and hits the plastic thing in here. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy this polyurethane. This is easy. You literally take a pin out, slide this in, put the pin back in, put the stock back on it. Super easy. I bought 2 of them. One's already installed in there. Super easy. You go to M Carbo's Facebook or YouTube or website or anything that shows the video of how to fucking put this in. You know, you got to take all this stuff apart, deal with all these things. They basically sell, M Carbo sells metal inserts for in here, which is amazing. By the time you buy that, this, you're looking at like another, you know, $150 of parts to make this gun function and feed from the factory. It's kind of shitty. I love Kel Tec. I love that they innovate. I love that they do crazy things, but they need to make it a little bit more reliable. How hard would it be for them to machine this themselves and install it from the factory so we don't have to fucking do this? And the good thing is, which I'm sorry, the M Carbo dude, I really forget your name. If you're watching this, I'm going to mail you this fucking gun, and I'm going to mail you this, and you're going to install this for me. And he does that. It's an amazing service, but you got to pay a fee to have a brand new, well, this one's used and dirty, so I'm sorry, bro. A brand new gun, you got to pay a fee to somebody that's an expert to do this, so I don't have to worry about if I put this thing back together wrong and one of the springs is in the wrong spot. Like, is fucking Kel Tec going to help me out? No, because I just put a non-factory part in their gun. They're going to just leave me hanging, you know? So it sucks. This is me ranting about having money to waste on a gun that I don't want to do anything other than just like put a, you know, 12-ounce can on it. Hold on, let me look at the thing. 25-ounce can on it and just come out here to my little range and just bullshit and have a good time and shoot. So these are like modern first world problems of a man that has money to buy a can and buy a shitty gun and have a good time. Oh, and in addition to all that, you know, I showed you all those rounds. Let me show you this other round that I just bought too. So let me see if you can see it. So let me get my knife. And like I said, we're going to try to do one take and not edit anything. So obviously I showed you Norman 9mm. This is the new round. I only bought like 3 of them. This is the Acorn 9. That one, I was able to retrieve that one out of the target. And these are extremely deadly. They feed really good, but they're very expensive. And that one, it didn't like actually open up and perform ballistically as you would expect it. But I still have this one. and I can put it in the gun, and we'll see how it works. I don't even think that's gonna fucking fit in that gun. What I'm talking about is there was this cop in like Florida that, like, you know, hopefully you've already seen that story. It's fucking crazy. Shot up a vehicle, his own vehicle, his patrol vehicle, with a person that was in handcuffs because an acorn fell off of a tree and hit his vehicle, and he thought it was gunshots. So I figured if I'm gonna find one out here, I'm gonna make a fucking little parody video. So I got like a few videos already made about that because it's fucking crazy. I mean, he's like combat rolling on the ground. He's like, shots fired, I'm hit. And just, it's crazy. He like unloads his fucking gun, goes to slide lock, struggles on the ground, doesn't ever get that other magazine in from the video that I saw. So somehow the guy that he was shooting at didn't get hit. Let's put some more rounds through this thing, see what happens. I was really thinking that those truncated rounds wouldn't feed, but obviously they fed. Oh, I was bitching about that magazine, but see, look, the Glock mag has metal inserts. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that Glock mag has metal inserts, plastic body metal inserts. So one of the issues I was having with my other Sub 2000 before I got rid of it, which I sold it and made a profit, which was amazing, that if you don't use the metal feedlit mags, I don't know if there's any other company other than Glock that makes them, then you have that causes additional issues. So let's try it, see what happens. Obviously it fed the other ones. So let's see how these feed. Oh, I think it's like I think that is a YouTube compliant mag marked 30 rounds. I don't know if I should do the dad thing and tuck the beard in so I don't lose a hair, or just deal with it. These things break and fall out. I'm surprised there's any hair left on my head, or on my beard, I mean, because so many break and come off. All right, hold on, let me put the gun down so I can set the camera up. That's the little target we're aiming for. Let me shoot this without plugs in and see how loud it is. Typically, if I shoot even with like the can on anything other than my 22 pistol, I usually leave my earplugs in because the bolt bouncing back and forth in there, it makes a really loud noise too. But I just gotta see, just for my own knowledge of how loud this thing may or may not be. Did we get one in there? We got one in there. All right, let's see. Cans on there. If you never use a 3-lug, sometimes it's pretty easy from what I've seen to actually get it to not lock. So I always make sure I don't have a baffle strike and check it. Well, obviously that's gonna make noise because we're shooting the metal, but let's shoot into the woods. Still pretty loud. And those are subs. Hold on, neighbor's here, so we're gonna pause the video. All right, back at it. Neighbor stopped by. Very complete coincidence, didn't expect this to happen. He actually had his truck gun, which it's funny because I talk shit about how much nobody should have this as a truck gun. So he had the Smith & Wesson, the one that Smith has that folds the opposite way of this. I've never seen one in person, never held one, watched a few videos about it. I can tell you, it's 130% better than this one. It's weird because it folds the other way and it's super bulky in this area, but it has extra mag storage space in the back. So it has like 2 magazines back there, and then it has way less recoil than this. I think it's about the same weight, but way less recoil. And because it folds the opposite way of this, you can actually put a dot on it. So we had a red dot on it. So it's pretty awesome. So what I did was reloaded some rounds because I let him shoot this and I shot his a little bit. the first 3 in there are supersonic Winchester 115 grain. We'll see how loud it is, because the subs coming out of this seem to be loud, which is probably a lot of the gas coming out of the ejection port is making it loud. Because he shot it and I took my earplugs out and stepped a few feet back and it actually sounded pretty quiet. So maybe it's just the noise from the port. So here we go. So these are supers. Into the woods so we can actually hear it. And here's subsonic. Maybe it is better. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. So I'm just going to keep earplugs in. For the rear sight, you can't adjust at all. I had to look at it to tell because I actually don't remember. But yeah, the rear sight you can't adjust at all. So I think the front, you do elevation and windage. So elevation by moving it with like an AR-15 front sight tool, and then windage I think is with this. But this is shooting, I mean, we're shooting really close. I need a rangefinder. My birthday has come and went. My wife didn't get me a rangefinder yet. But I don't know how close we are. But this is shooting way high, which with subsonics, you're going to be shooting way low. But we're pretty close, so I don't know. Maybe it's good. The other thing that sucks about this, like peep sight thing, is I don't think it's, like if you have the sun on it, like right now, it's not going to show up in video. You just have to trust what I'm telling you. With the sun on it, when your head's covering it, the rear aperture doesn't really mess with you. You can still look through it and see the front post. You can still see the front post really good. But when the sun's on it, it really needs some kind of like flat black paint on it or something, because it has a really weird reflection that really makes it hard to focus on that front sight. I moved to the shade so I can see the rear, so I can't see the rear sight. I can't tell if it's hitting high or low. We'll have to watch the footage later. When he was shooting it, it was shooting really high. Ow, I forgot the charging handle moves. It wasn't that bad because my hand was like back here, but it does move. Let me hold it from like, let me just man it and hold it with one hand. Yeah, that was a pretty dumb thing to do. If I would have had my hand right there, like on it, straddling it, that probably would have broke a finger. Well, after that whole intro I made trash talking the feed ramp, it's doing pretty decent. So now what I'm gonna do is nurse my little sore hand. It's not that bad. I'm gonna move one of the targets really far down there. So probably, I don't know, 25 yards? I'm just guessing because I have no clue. But all the way on the other side of the pond. And then that'll be a good indication of how accurate or high or low it's shooting. All right, farted around with a few other videos, and now we're getting back to long range. It's good because now the sun is far enough in the trees that you can actually see that target down there. Let me see if I can find it in the video. It's really hard to see. It's like on the other side of the water. If I hit it, you'll hear it. I had no hopes of hitting it. I mean, I got the whole 30 round or maybe 20 something round magazine. I really don't remember how many I loaded. So hopefully I can get it. I can't even shoot that close one. I need to put some, I might have to actually bring a real target stand out here and shoot paper. I mean, I ain't hitting a damn thing. Even when I was shooting up close target, it was shooting to the right, and you can tell by how that tree's been getting taken out that it still is shooting to the right a little bit. That I'm holding like off the target. The target's right there. I'm holding way up and to the left. Well, maybe another day. Remember to bring a tool. Oh, she's starting to come a little bit loose too. That's the other thing that sucks about what I need to do, since I'm probably only ever gonna shoot this with a can. So I need to put some thread lock on that 3-lug adapter. Looks like my baffle survived even though it came a little bit loose. Put some Loctite on there and just leave that 3-lug adapter on there permanently. I bought some rock set. That's like another adhesive thing. Haven't used that yet. Trying to crank it down. There we go. All right. There's another little thing I'm getting ready to film, so probably done wasting ammo with this not sighted in sub 2000. You know what I need to do since I'm out here, and I don't think I've done it yet. I can't remember. Shoot this without the can on it. Just put a few rounds through it. I don't know, let's count. 1, 2, should be like 6 rounds. Wearing gloves is amazing until it comes to like loading ammo. And then like your gloves are getting caught in the feed lips. All right. What did I say, 6 rounds in a little Magpul magazine. Oh yeah, this is the one made for the Glock 19 and 23 mags. So I had the other one because they make them that are for like, I don't know, Smith & Wesson. I think they got SIG mags too. But the other one I had, the other sub 2000, was the Glock 17 mag, so it was longer. I kind of didn't remember or pay attention when I was ordering one. I just grabbed the one that took Glock mags. Turns out that I probably would have. I like this version because it makes it smaller. Because the other one, the grip sticks out a little bit more, even without the magazine in it. All right, here we go. Oh, I lost another. Man, can you see it right there? Look at my glove. You see that hair? And it ripped that mofo out good. Maybe what I need to do, since I you can adjust the length of pull. You know, the stock can go forward and back by moving this. This is also how you take it apart. The good thing is, though, you can pull this pin out, leave the stock portion there, and still get the bolt and the recoil spring out. So maybe what I need to do is use some kind of heavy-duty sealant and fill in that little gap right there so my beard doesn't keep getting stuck in that, because that one hurt. That one was like ripped out. And it didn't feel good at all. It hurt bad. So either wear a face mask to shoot it, cut the beard, or put stupid glue on the gun. And I'm not cutting the beard. And I'm a mouth breather, so I don't want to fog up my glasses. Man, this thing's like super dirty in there. Probably from shooting suppressed. But so far, as much shit as I talked about it, I've put, I don't know, at least like 100 rounds through it. And no issues. So time will tell. But I definitely need to swap out that feed ramp still. Send it to M Carbo and pay their little fee to let them do it, because I don't want to fuck with that thing. Oh yeah.